I think everything's just hit me like a train, like last month or so, that like 10 months ago, we didn't even know that this existed in him. When he told us, like, obviously my reaction, I just started bawling and crying.
Instead of saying manning up, it's dadding up.
You're dadding up, yeah.
That's taking away the gender from it. It's just dadding up.
Yes, people, welcome back to DadPod. I'm NT.
I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Will.
Yes, and on DadPod, we talk about life, being dads, and everything in between. And on this episode, we want to give flowers to the unsung heroes, the parents that look after children with disabilities.
So today we are going to be talking about a disability specifically. We are aware that there's all sorts of problems that people face, all sorts of disabilities that children have to navigate to get through life. But today we're talking about Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and as it's quite close to home with Chris's eldest son.
Yeah. So back in September last year, we got the official diagnosis that my son has been is born with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is a degenerative condition. It will affect every muscle in his body. It's essentially he's missing the dystrophin gene, which is the gene that naturally produces protein. So as our normal muscles would tear and then be filled with protein and then they grow, his muscles aren't producing the protein, and so they fill with fat and other stuff instead, and so like that causes like muscle function to be lost over time. So yeah, it was a bit of a it's still a massive hard time, but a massive adjustment, but we're trying to get through it best we can. So
before sort of obviously we found out about this with Louis. If you want to bleep that out, or
no, it's fine.
But if I'm glad that we're openly talking about Louis as well. My only sort of knowledge was a film that a base had actually recommended it to you, called The Fundamentals of Caring, which is on Netflix, and it's about a guy who becomes a carer and he looks after a young man who has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and it does talk quite a bit about the condition, but then I think something that I spoke to you quite early on about was like sort of keeping things sort of as normal as possible and not trying to sort of hide from it, but almost kind of, this is just part of him, this is who he is. And that film I think has got a very good balance of sort of the seriousness and education, but then also it's quite light-hearted as well. It's like,
it's got Paul Rudd in, so it's like he's a light-hearted actor. But
what
was that called again? I was going to say.
It's called Fundamentals of Caring.
Fundamentals of Caring.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that when I get home.
Honestly, so that was my knowledge of it prior. So I was, as you all know, and it's the same for all of us. If we've got some sort of experience or knowledge on something, we'll always try to use that to support or help each other. Yeah, but then obviously, watching that from a sort of outside point of view and then seeing it sort of how it affected you as well, there's always that little bit of like, okay, this has sort of hit home a bit more now.
Yeah.
So what were your first sort of thoughts when you found out? How did you find out?
Before you answer that, Chris, sorry.
Yeah.
Could you kind of take it back to when you kind of started noticing things that kind of built up to getting the diagnosis?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously, it's been discussed on the pod. Like me and Louis' mum broke up when he was a baby, and so we've been through family court and that. And so up until he was probably about 2.5, 3 sort of age, like we'd not spent like a big block of any longer than a weekend block of time together, and we with my new partner and my stepdaughter, we went over to Northern Ireland with Louis to see brother and that, and then it was on that holiday that we started like his movements a bit off, like there's something that's not quite right, and we thought like he'd had a delay in his toddler legs going or something like that at the time, so we just thought we'll keep an eye on it over the next few months, and then noticing it more and more, and noticing that like he wouldn't. When we take him to the park, for instance, he's not pushing himself to get climbing up, because the personality type of kid that he is, if he was able, he'd be running around, buzzing, like flying off the walls and all this.
As most boys his age do. Yeah.
We were just noticing that he'd always play with things that are on ground level rather than like trying to climb. He'd tried to climb, but he'd always need help or like hold your hand. He's always wanted to hold our hand as well, rather than like being independent and going off running and stuff like that, because he's obviously in his mind he's uneasy on his feet, but we didn't think of anything of it until that holiday. And then we were like, okay, so we were looking about and we came across this condition called dyspraxia, because we're thinking that he's got ADHD as well, and that sort of goes hand in hand.
Dyspraxia is sort of like, for those who don't know, it's sort of like to do with coordination. So it's almost like a...
Isn't it hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, it's like hand-eye coordination. It's like a kind of like a slight delay in movement almost. So it's like you want to move your foot to a certain place and it would just be a little bit longer than it would for your typical person.
Yeah.
So just to explain it in my head, it's like there's a buffer between the connection.
Yeah, sort of kind of like that. Yeah.
Sort of like your brain says, right hand move.
Yeah.
Right hand then moves after your brain has already.
Yeah.
Whereas when I say right hand move, it's naturally.
Yeah.
So imagine it kind of like that. So imagine how much of a problem that would be if you had that.
Yeah.
Like playing football, for example.
Yeah, because whenever he was running and that, it was always more of a plod than like a naturally bend your leg while and it's sort of a cycle motion, whereas like he'd sort of plod a bit, and that was like a big factor while we were thinking. But then we started noticing he's struggling to climb up the stairs. He's going on his hands and knees and stuff like that, and then I took him for a physio appointment, because through all of this we were like, right, we want to get him seen, and so we started going to sporadic physio appointments and see what was up. At first, the NHS were like putting stuff in his like little sole inserts that can help him, because they thought like, oh, he's got a flat foot, so was that like insoles? Yeah, insoles. Yeah, so he's got a flat foot, so like we'll balance it out with this insole and stuff like that. And then he's struggling to go up the stairs and stuff like that. And then I've took him to this physio appointment, and I was at that point I was getting more and more concerned. So I've noted down everything that he was struggling with and said it to the physio, and I noticed while I was in there that they took more notice of certain symptoms than others. That the others I thought were more important and more towards like dyspraxia and stuff like that. But they were picking out other ones, and I was like, why are they doing this? So I rang up my missus afterwards and told her. So she's like typed all this in, and then muscular dystrophy came up, and at first she didn't want to tell me because like she'd obviously read what happens with it, and then I've sort of read it at the night, and it's like you can't help but not have your mind like run away and sort of go
almost
to worst,
you jump to
worst case scenario.
This is what it is now. This is what it will be, and you sort of live with what it will be, rather than in between, I suppose. Yeah,
exactly. And it was really, really scary. And then like, so we've, off the back of that, I've rang up the GP the next day and said like, we need an emergency appointment, because like this is what we're thinking it might be, and if it is, we need to get him in like now. And and so he's got the appointment sorted. The hospital have got him in the next day, and then
That's pretty good.
Done there. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
It was good in that respect. But yeah, then the guy, the specialist, saw him and said, "We need to do blood tests and all this business." But I wouldn't say this if I wasn't confident. But I think he has got Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So it was essentially diagnosed back in like the July last year, but the official diagnosis was in September. So yeah, it was a bit of a time, and at that time it was when we got the when we were first gone in for the appointment with the specialist, and like because I went with Louis's mum. She's not really read up on what it entails and that, and so when he told us, like obviously my reaction, I just started bawling and crying, and then her reaction was just like, okay, like that, and I thought that I went away thinking like, oh, that's really weird. And she's texted me like the next day and saying like, I'm really sorry for my reaction. Like I didn't at the time, I hadn't read it.
I think it's like
I don't think she
sort of
processed it.
No.
Yeah,
I
to
think
be honest, yeah.
getting given that
she'd not realised what it
information straight away
entailed.
without full context and realisation of what it is.
Yeah.
That's probably just kind of set
Yeah.
knocked back a little. I
didn't think anything because it is like a massive shot, and people deal with things in different ways.
Obviously, you know her better than any of us do, but
Yeah.
there are people when they receive like bad news that they have to go away and kind of process it. They don't really deal with it there and then.
Yeah, not on the spot, no.
Did the diagnosis sort of settle anything as well, though? So obviously it's not, nobody's going to sit there and say, yeah, I wanted that diagnosis. But did it sort of settle it in your head, so rather than the what is this, what's going on sort of thing?
In a way, yeah. I mean, for me personally, like it's been a massive. I don't know. Like my executive function has just gone to mush in my brain. Like it's just the stress from everything, and like I'm trying so hard not to think of like that worst case scenario in the end sort of it, but it's very hard not to. Yeah. Gained a lot of perspective since, but like in that first month. But I think where it did benefit was Louis himself. Yeah. Because he was getting really frustrated with himself that he couldn't keep up with his mates. He couldn't like do the things that he wanted to do. But now it's got a name and there's a reason.
Yeah, there's actually an explanation for it, isn't there? Yeah, I was going to say that.
Is he fully aware of it then?
He's stage appropriate.
Okay,
I would say stage appropriate.
How does that work then? To the stage appropriate. So what's the sort of?
So we've not told him anything further than what's happening at this stage, and so all he knows is the name of it, and that it is the reason why he struggles, and that he needs to take his medicine to help him. And
do you find with Louis, since the diagnosis has been put in place, have you found he's developed a bit better than before in a way-ish, like with doing things and being a bit more confident to do things or anything? Because now he knows what it is that sort of stops him.
Yeah.
So I think it's like you kind of work around the limitations.
Yeah.
So you probably do things that are more suited to him because he'd struggle with doing it.
Because you had to take him out of certain activities that he was doing before, right?
Yeah. So the school have been really good as well. Like I gotta say that his school have been amazing, and they've got him a chair for when they do like the sitting down on the mat time. So he sits on a chair. They do different activities with him for PE than he would be doing and stuff like that. Because if he overexerts himself as well, like it's going to speed up the process, and stuff like that. So he can't we want him to keep active because it keeps it. It's one of the. It's a balance.
Find a balance.
Yeah, you can't have him too active, but you don't want him too inactive.
Yeah, because if he goes inactive, then it seizes up, and then he loses the function quicker as well. So we
got to kind of find that middle ground.
Yeah. And then we've had like an OT come into school as well.
What's an OT?
Occupational therapist.
Yeah, just for those.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those who don't know what an OT is.
I'm using all the jargon, but they've come into school and sort of assessed like everything, and they've put everything in place that he needs. It's something that he really enjoys doing. He does this therapy, so it's like therapy with like Play-Doh,
put your slime and stuff like that. Yeah.
Because like you can like you fine motor skills and stuff like that, you can lose function of that quite quickly, and so he and he's been struggling with writing and like learning how to write. So they've given him a fatter pen or pencil that will help him, and this putty stuff it helps like develop those muscles in your wrists and your forearms and stuff. So yeah, there's so many things that, like, I think I was speaking to you boys off camera like last month or so, and I think everything's just hit me like a train like last month or so, that like 10 months ago we didn't even know that this existed in him, but he's got so many things now that we have to do or he has to have, that it just seems like everything has just gone so quick.
It seems
it's
like
just really scary.
It seems like there's been like quite a lot of adjustment for like Louis in like school and just everyday life, really.
Yeah.
What has the adjustment been like for you as his parent? Because you just touched on there's a lot more stuff that you have to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've realised there's a lot more stuff you do have to put in place for him, but like mentally and how is it
mentally I'm buggered, mate. I'm just all over the place, truth be told, but I'm trying to get through every day, and like it's in effect it's not me who has to deal with it, because it's Louis's body, but like because he's my firstborn, because he's my kid, it just so I don't know how to explain it, but the adjustment you just have to sort of, I hate using this term because it's toxic masculinity and all that business, but you just have to man up and get on with it.
I think I've said to you, haven't I? Like I've said to you, like in front of Louis, everything's normal.
Yeah,
exactly. So like this is his life.
Yeah.
Like this is normality for him. You know,
absolutely. Yeah,
that's like that's normality for him. So around him, you've got to be dad.
Yeah,
but when you have
got to be dad, and that's not about just manning up. That's just being there for him in the best way you can, and then you talk to us or you other people beyond, like outside of that, about all these side of things, you know, because we all have to process it, we all have to deal with it. Things affect us, man.
The way I look at it with like what you were saying is like around Louis, you probably have to put on that brave face for him to think this is the norm. Like this, there's nothing wrong, so to say. Like I put quotation marks because there isn't anything wrong, but there's just a disability in place, and so. But when you're around us, bro, cry as much as you want, man. I got some spare tissue in the car. Natty pulled it out of the thingy, man. Natty pulled it out.
I probably wouldn't use any tissue in that.
I'd drive a taxi.
I'd go to the shop and get your own tissue.
No, but seriously, like we're always here for you, innit? Like, not even just saying that because the cameras, you could turn them off and I'd still let you cry on my shoulder.
I think, you know, like sometimes, and I don't think that's toxic masculinity in the sense of like as a parent. You are a parent first and foremost. Around your kids, you've got
sometimes
to be strong.
you've got to put that.
When they're a bit older, you know, it doesn't mean you can talk to your kids and say, "Oh, I'm a bit sad today," and that because it helps them understand their own emotions.
Yeah, of course.
You've got to lead. You have got to lead, but then outside of that, you are still a person. You are still human. You have still have emotions to process. So, like, I think it's not about manning up, but it's about selecting your time.
Instead of saying manning up, it's dadding up.
You're dadding up,
That's taking away the gender from it. It's just dadding up. And
I like keep on, carry on.
Keep on, carry on. Yeah.
We need to start making like little coasters and everything with these on.
Like ultimately, like this is the tough thing. Is like I think it can sometimes go too far the other way because the world keeps on moving. Like
Yeah.
no one's waiting around for us to
Absolutely.
process the things we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So you have got to keep on.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
got to
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
on, but then it's also just knowing that you have got an outlet as well.
Yeah.
I think as well, what I really, what's the word? What I really admire with parents that have children with disabilities is the child. They don't like kind of put their worries on the child and make the child feel like they're a burden or anything like that. They just make that child's world
Yeah.
comfortable
You just
Well,
and
adapt everything.
Well,
and adapt everything to it. So it's just normal to them.
Yeah.
Like that's just
Yeah.
that's just their way of life. That's it.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
I think something further to add on to that, what you said as well, is like the adaptability of those parents. Like you just said, 10 months ago, you had no idea about any of
No,
this.
nothing.
And then look at all the things that are in place now. You've
Yeah.
adapted.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we've
you
had
have-
to, yeah. It's-
No,
it's-
but you have. Like you
No,
have
you
adapted. You
absolutely have,
You look
yeah.
to everything you do now compared to then. You've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you might have needed support and guidance and advice, and obviously, you know, you've got your professionals involved and that kind of thing. But you've still done it.
And you know,
Yeah.
the thing is, besides just for informational purposes, when you've been asked by us lot, you don't then just come to DadPod one day and say, "Oh, can't be bothered today, lads. I've had to go do this and had to do that," and you've had to do a lot in 10 months.
Yeah.
Way more than any of us have had to do to adapt for our children. Yet you don't come to DadPod moaning about it. You still get up and go work when you need to go work, and that's something which is highly commendable. Because I know myself personally, if it was me, I'm gonna be honest, I'd be in pieces, mate. I probably wouldn't be able to work and carry on struggling.
It's kind of
So it takes a lot.
fight or flight,
Yeah,
isn't
it takes a lot. It takes an awful lot.
I am in pieces a lot, to be honest.
You just
and
try
like,
and
it's-
hold it, don't you?
Yeah, you just get like Bobby said, like around Louis, around like 'cause I've got in here as well, like around the kids. You want to, because you don't want to scare them as well, like the girls. You don't want to scare it's their brother, and they love him. They want him to, like, we've had to explain certain things to my stepdaughter, the older one, just because she's getting frustrated when they're playing together that she's having to do things different. Like he's getting allowances, and she's like, "That's not fair." And all these
Yeah. So
things.
she needs to kind of have that understanding.
Like,
Yeah.
like we're having a water fight the other week, and like, yeah, because Louis can't bend down very quickly and pick up all these things. So like I was helping him, and she was like, "Oh, that's not fair. You're giving him."
It's so black and white to little kids.
To children, it's like, "Oh, daddy's helping him cheat all the time." That's not fair, man.
That's
Like,
probably do the world of good though as well. Having that experience that okay, some people do things differently, or some people need this, and some people need that. So that's probably do the world of good as well. It's good that you know.
Yeah, man.
So to be honest, I had no sort of awareness of apart from physical disabilities where you could clearly see someone was disabled. I had no real concept of disability. That, you know, like even the work I do now, I never, you know, I used to listen to people saying, "Oh, ADHD is not real" and all that kind of thing, and you kind of don't consider it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Obviously,
definitely.
working with special needs and that, it's very different. But it is all about. It's not even just you don't have to understand it, because how could you really understand what someone else is feeling? or
To be
thinking?
honest with you,
But you just accept it, and then you just make things work for them. Like.
Yeah. I didn't know about disabilities aside from someone being in a wheelchair when I was young. It was only when I got into my adult years I started learning about ADHD, autism, and all the other stuff. I think there does need to be a bit more education. There might be, I'm not too sure, but there doesn't need to be a bit more education, so people are more aware of certain disabilities.
I know from my generation there was some sort of education around disabilities, but what kind of I grew up in a household where pretty much everyone's got a disability, including myself. But they're all the hidden disabilities, the ones you don't see, not the physical. They're all neurological and so on. And going to school, when we used to pull up and be in the disabled spot, for example, people were like, not one person in that car is disabled.
Yeah.
All four people in the car are disabled, but you don't know that because it's not physically seen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got to like year 10, year 11 stage, I started seeing posters saying not all disabilities are visible, and I'm thinking, great, brilliant.
Yeah.
Could have done this when I was about 11, when I first started to realise I had disabilities and everybody looked at me differently. But I think they are slowly getting there.
Slowly, yeah.
It's
But
getting better, but
and the thing is, the list of disabilities is so broad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disabilities out. I was shocked to know this myself, because to me it was wheelchair or autism. Those were disabilities.
Yeah, and to me it was
Even
just
with-
wheelchair.
Even with muscular dystrophy, there's about like 10 different. I don't know the exact number, but there's loads of different types. And
Yeah, because when I was looking into
severities
it, obviously doing the charity stuff that I'm going to be doing,
Yeah.
when I was looking into it, there's a lot of muscular dystrophy stuff that,
Types,
like,
yeah.
when I was looking into muscular dystrophy UK and stuff like that, it's not just Duchenne, there's loads of different like variants, so to speak, and whatnot. And it's just crazy because there's not much education out there. Before you told me about Louis, the only sort of, I don't know if it comes under muscular dystrophy, the only sort of like condition that I knew of that was cerebral palsy, where people are they walk a bit differently because their muscles. Is it because
that's to do with the brain?
Is that the brain? Is it? I thought that was.
Brain,
so it might not be muscular.
No. So it has like a sort of similar effect, but it's the brain affecting rather than what the muscles doing.
But yeah, that's the only sort of physical condition, other than obviously in people who are not able-bodied from like the waist below or paralysed or whatever. Other than that and cerebral palsy, I knew nothing about any sort of issues with mobility. And to me, to be mobily disabled, you need to be in a wheelchair. But it obviously isn't when you look at all the different types of dystrophies there is and different variants. It's crazy. So I genuinely do think education is definitely something that's key around stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I wanted to do this episode, really, is because like it's such a rare condition, but like it has a massive effect on the people and that have it and the lives around it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Chris, could you just touch on, because you talked about like the symptoms of it, like how it affects the person that has it. What are the other things that are included when you have Duchenne's, like?
Because it's missing protein, and protein is essentially how our muscles grow. Yeah. And because of that, it'll affect every muscle in his body, and that's to his brain, to his heart, to his lungs, to his bowels and like intestines, and like the legs are and the core is normally like the first to sort of be affected, because those are the ones you use most regularly. Yeah. But obviously, like with the effect on the heart and the lungs and stuff like that, it is essentially life shortening, which is what I alluded to earlier about like having your brain go to that
straight away
thing, and like that's the biggest and scariest thing, like when you first get the diagnosis. But like as I mentioned as well, I've gained a lot more perspective since, even though it's still really hard to adjust to and to think. A lot of perspective that medicines are getting loads better every single day. There's just been a medicine called givinostat that's so Louis on a steroid treatment at the minute, which obviously has its own effects in sort of stunting growth and stuff like that, that can be side effects. But there's a new medicine called givinostat that's come over from the US. It's been passed by the NICE, is the regulation body over here.
What does NICE stand for?
I don't know.
Okay. Is it something narcotics?
We'll put it in.
I'm going to assume the N stands for narcotics. I'm assuming it's going to be a abbreviation.
I think it's
It might be national.
National Institute.
But they are narcotics, isn't it? Like medication you get from the thing is still classed as narcotics, isn't it? Isn't it?
Narcotics are illegal.
Yeah,
is that illegal?
It's illegal drugs.
Oh, okay, right. I'll take it back.
So, Louis not taking narcotics.
No. He doesn't take. I just got easily confused.
We will leave what the abbreviation means.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Essentially, they're a governing body for like they need to check and regulate the medicines that come through and make sure that they're okay to be used on NHS. and that's been recently passed within like the last month or so, which is great news. But the reason because we got offered to go on to that medication as a pre-trial, but we decided against it at the time because Louis in a good rhythm in the medication that he's on, so we didn't want to upset any or have any
continuously change and have all the adverse
but also like my family have a huge history in like having heart problems and stuff like that, and there's no sort of research yet, or like there's no published research of how it affects cardiac stuff.
Yeah.
So for that reason, like me and his mum came to the conclusion that like we don't want to risk it. So we're just gonna
essentially you want to let
as we are until
let them work out the side effects and how effective this new drug is before your child takes it, which is fair enough, really.
Yeah. But it's meant to, by all accounts and purposes, it's meant to be like a lot more effective for slowing down the process.
Yeah.
And it's not a steroid, so you don't have that effect. So
at the minute, that like medication wise, that's their sort of the best sort of hope, isn't it? Is to slow it down as much as possible at this point.
there's no cure at the minute.
There's no cure.
But there's the standard treatment is like there's 3 types of steroids, and Louis on the least effective in terms of like stunting growth and stuff like that. Steroid treatment, vamorolone, his one is called, and he's been going well on that. And
how many times a day does he have to take that?
Once a day. He has to take that, and the dose is based on his weight and stuff like that. And the other thing with like Duchenne and having steroid treatment, you can put weight on as well. So there's that element that may come at, like later down the line. He's getting a proper lump. I'm struggling to carry him now. But
no, he is 7 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
I was about to say, he's becoming a big boy now,
He's a big
so
boy.
bless him.
But then there's other treatments, like there's the Givinostat, which is an orally treated as again. Then there's like gene therapy, so you can have this therapy where you can change
Like
your genes.
mutate the genes around and try and modify it to...
which is like, again, it's not a cure, but it's meant to be like the best, but it's also the most risky.
So that's quite positive then. That
And
it
the
seems
most
like there's a lot of advancements that are going on.
Yeah. It seems like
field.
seems like that they're getting better with finding ways to medicate and slow down the whole getting to the end point, like slowing down that, which is positive. Is it something that's forever going to be like sort of incurable? Like, because there's certain things which they say will never be cured. Is it something like that, or are they working on something to cure it completely? Like,
well, I think with everything is it like any disease or stuff like that. You want the research is to cure. So I think where you want to be is to put that gene back into their body, the dystrophin gene, and they've not found a way yet that's
effective and works.
I don't know how the science works myself, but they've not found that yet. But they are working towards it. But as things stand, it's more sort of prevention over cure. But it's just about slowing things down. And I suppose that's a good segue into explaining the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what this meant.
If you are wondering why we're all wearing bright orange T-shirts,
it's not because we wanted to twin.
No.
Big up Chris's hair. Big up Chris's hair.
That's right, mate.
So the ginger T-shirts.
Yeah.
What are these about?
So basically, we were looking for ways that we can help people in the same situations as ourselves, and also help Louis and help the research as much as we can. And so we came across a couple of great charities, like Duchenne UK is one that specifically works towards Duchenne itself. And then there's Action Duchenne, which is a really great charity as well. And we obviously have Muscular Dystrophy UK, which they don't just focus on Duchenne. They should focus on a whole spectrum of muscular dystrophy and other muscle wasting conditions. But yeah, we decided to open a family fund with them, and basically the family fund is our own charity within the charity. And 80% of everything that gets donated goes towards research and goes towards like helping families like mine, and kids like Louis to have a better life and a better future. And then the 20% left over, that goes towards Louis and his needs, any adaptations that he'll need in the future, like if he needs a powered wheelchair, or like we need to convert the house in any way for him to get a wet room or stuff like that. That money can go towards those types of things. And then our good friend Will here is running is it a 10k?
No, so it was supposed to be a 10k, but it was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning when I was talking to you about it, and my half asleep self clicked the half marathon, paid for it, processed the payment. Next morning went to go screenshot this 10k that I thought I was doing, and it read as half marathon, and I was like,
he's never run a day in his
by the
life.
way,
Way to jump in the deep end.
I have ran a day in my life, people, yeah. I have ran before. However, I haven't done any sort of proper running since I was about 14, and I've started smoking around then. So my lungs have fared off a little bit. However, I'm going couch to half marathon, yeah. Go put some money in the fund to sponsor
link
it,
in the
yeah.
description.
The link will be in the description. I'm pointing that way, but it's that way. Yeah, so it's going to be 13.2 miles. I think that's what it is. Something like that anyway. I just know it's 20k. I'm going couch to 20k out of nowhere. I'm currently on 6 miles. I've got 1 month to go. So yeah, we're going to do it. I'm going to get loads of shots when I am doing it. In fact, I might even just live stream off DadPod while I'm at it. Just live stream it off the DadPod.
Why not? Yeah, sounds
Let everybody watch me run like that. Yeah. But,
so when are you running?
So it's the 9th of August. I'm doing the half marathon with, what's their name? I've got about 700 emails from them. Run through events, because they send me promotions every day. And it's going to be starting in Solihull Town Centre, running all the way to Knoll, through a bunch of woodlands around that area, looping it back round, back to the town centre. I already have 3 hours to run it. So that means I've got to do a minimum of basically 4 miles an hour, which I should be able to do. I get it. I've sat on the sofa a little bit, and I'm a taxi driver, so I don't do much in my day to day. But I have been running a lot.
He's confident.
I'm trying.
I like that.
I'm trying. I've been running a lot. The kids have been helping me. We've been doing a lot of running with the kids, and the kids have been at first I was gassing out before the kids, and they're like, "Come on, Dad, you can't." Like, they're coming up behind me. Come on, you're it. Come get me. So I'm getting there, and I'm quite confident I'm going to do it. Yep. And thank you to everyone who's already supported me. And if you haven't, make sure you're doing it. It's not supporting me. It's actually supporting Louis. Forget about me. It's for Louis. So yeah.
And as Louis' dad, I really appreciate anyone that's donated so far and in the future. And yeah, like I say, it's all towards a great cause. 80% towards the research, 20% towards Louis' future. And yeah, man.
I think that is a perfect place to sign off.
It's a perfect, positive place.
Yeah.
Remember, the links are going to be in the bio for the fundraiser and potentially any information stuff.
Yeah, we'll
put some links
it all
there.
in
So there'll be links there, and Nat is going to find out what was it nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
What nice means, and he's going to put it somewhere on the screen.
I should really know this.
Listen, you've had a lot of information to remember and then relay back forward to everyone. So it's all right if you don't remember what nice means.
One thing, that doesn't change as a parent, although it certainly gets harder, and something I'm very proud of you for, is that we still all do everything we can for our kids. That's the most important
Yeah.
thing.
Absolutely, man.
But I'm proud of you for holding that down.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Super proud, man. We love you, and we've always got you, Chris.
Chris, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story with us today, and like Louis' story.
Yeah, man.
Really appreciate it, and I hope it's brought to light some information to people about muscular dystrophy as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard, but like I feel compelled to speak about it more, because, like I say, it is such a rare condition, and the earlier you catch it, the better it is for the kid. And like we caught it quite late in all effect, but if there's any of them symptoms that I listed earlier that you see in your kids, when just please like get them checked.
Yeah.
Or like visit Muscular Dystrophy UK, like, and there's loads of information on there. And I as a parent to a disabled child as well, I just want to like big up all of the other parents. Like, just I feel sometimes like a bit of it could be a lot worse for me, because there's so many people in different situations that are like absolutely smashing it, but I know with my own executive function going and stuff like that it's so hard behind closed doors. But you just have to keep going for your kids and that. So
To the unsung heroes, the parents, the children with disabilities, this one was for you. Any information that we have, we will put in the description when the episode comes out. Thanks very much, guys, for watching DadPod. Catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.